Illini Basketball Podcast, episode 214, April something, 21st, 2024. It's a little bit to discuss. I mean, there's some notable things happening in terms of news, some things that I find it crazy that people didn't think these things were going to happen, but that's neither here nor there. I guess we'll start with the officialness of the Chester Frazier thing.
Yeah, Chester has accepted the West Virginia associate head coach job. So he's not just an associate head coach. So definitely a step up from his position at Illinois. We're apparently crackheads for thinking that the Illinois job is better than the West Virginia job, according to our comments in YouTube, but whatever. And then Jeffrey apparently didn't think that this meant that two guys were leaving, but Underwood said of Chester, quote, he came here to win a championship. He won two. He never did win one when he was actually playing for Illinois. So he got to win his Big Ten championships and, decided that he needed to move on. He also commented that, associate head coach job is the next step of becoming an actual head coach. And that's where Chester ultimately wants to be. So it makes sense for him to leave. Underwood also said, quote, we can't thank Chester. We thank Chester for his undying loyalty, his dedication. Nobody bled orange and blue more than him. And then today, Sincere and Hansberry were both visiting West Virginia this weekend. They both announced today that they are going to West Virginia, following Chester Frazier there, obviously. I think everybody kind of.
Why is there anybody on social media that thought this wasn't the case? Like, it's crazy that we had people in the comments thinking those things. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, it's embarrassing to think otherwise, honestly. And good for those guys, I guess. Whatever, they want to follow the coach who recruited them, they're fine. Those guys, as of right now, what we know about both of these guys is that, They're fine. They're not fully developed. I think we both know that.
Do you think either of them start at West Virginia?
I don't know. I think it'll depend on the way the rest of their roster builds out. I will say about West Virginia, like, they do have pretty good NIL situation there, and obviously the history, what Huggins did there. So they have that. But in terms of recent success, Illinois is ahead of them. But I think in terms of resources and what the program is, I think it's pretty. And, associate head coach is a different title. I'm sure he's getting paid more.
Yeah.
He's closer to home. I think it makes a lot of sense in those aspects. I think anybody trying to score points, anybody who's anti-Underwood trying to score points from this move is an idiot. Very stupid that people would even do that. Jeffrey, I'm looking at you on that one, amongst others. These anti-Underwood people who think that, really questionable that Chester left. And then you take a step back because that's how things work. You can't just automatically react and form opinions in full off of one thing. Oh, Chester's leaving. That's so questionable. Now you go back, you step back, and you put the pieces together. New title, probably a pay raise. I don't know if that's been official, but it didn't seem like he was getting paid a ton here.
Right.
And then closer to home. 1, 2, 3. There you go. I don't know why this is so hard for people to figure out.
Yeah. I think it's a great move for him. Again, if he wants to be a head coach someday, this is the right move for him. And Illinois will go out and get somebody. There's a lot of Antigua noise apparently on the boards. I don't pay attention to those, so I don't have any clue. But Twitter is going crazy with Antigua information right now.
I think it's probably the one of the best case scenarios.
Yeah,
of what can happen.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit. I know you guys are kind of talking about it in the chat, but DGL announced on Twitter that he's coming back. Apparently got some hate from Purdue fans for it. He kind of went off on people on Twitter, which was a little crazy. But DGL's coming back, at least as of right now. There's a guy from Ohio State that said he was coming back, right? And now he's in the portal. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah, I mean, is there anybody? There's not much Illinois could do in the portal that should surprise DGL to the point where he would end up going back on that and leaving. You never know.
Right.
You got to be careful with these things. Obviously, I think we thought Sincere would probably come back, which anybody also that thinks that that's not, oh, you're so dumb for thinking that. Like he put ILL in the post and it was it's not like he just posted his highlight thing with no caption.
Right.
With Illinois, which it did, but things change. Obviously, the Frazier thing is the reason why he left. I mean, that's pretty obvious at this point. He didn't look at any other school when he entered the portal, nor did Hansberry. So I think we figured that out now. Kilton, you absolute bozo who is part of why Orange Crush sucks. There you go. Guy's like 0 for 6 against us.
Yeah. Cheesang says it was insinuated by insiders that Brad would make room for Antigua if he became available back in February. So, also smoke around Goody to Indiana. Haven't heard that, but
go ahead.
Go ahead. I just put this in here. Coleman Hawkins, aka Trollman Hawkins, is having a heck of a week on Twitter. He's basically been hinting that he might come back, but he's been doing it with the clown from McDonald's, Ronald McDonald. So I don't know what any of that means. Yesterday, he knocked down a 30-yard field goal during the football game and in the spring game. So Coleman, I mean, he loves Illinois. You got to appreciate that from him. And then I had somebody ask me if we had any time frame on Damask. He has hired a lawyer. Underwood has confirmed that. I don't know if we talked about that in the last podcast or not, that it was confirmed he hired a lawyer. But as of right now, we don't have a time frame. I don't know if anybody really does. But the NCAA came out. They're changing the transfer rule. And this is what it says. It says permits immediate eligibility for transfers who are academically eligible, in good standing with the previous school, and meet progress towards a degree requirements at a new school. Academic requirements will replace the previous year in residence requirement, and student athletes transferring more than once as undergraduates. So it's basically free reign transfer whenever you want. My question is, will kids be able to transfer like in January and immediately start playing? Because if this is how the new rule is worded,
I don't
think
so.
Sounds like that could happen.
How could that happen? How can you academically, I guess January, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that would be hard to. I don't know. It's so stupid.
It's just,
this could have been a lot easier if the rules weren't so dumb to begin with.
Yeah, I know that they had to get NIL done. I mean, it was to the point where it had to be done, but they probably should have figured it out a little bit better.
I'm going further back, like the fact that you had to sit for a full year after transferring the first time back in the day. I think that's a stupid rule too.
Well, yeah, but that's what the academic requirements are now replacing that.
Yeah, the whole thing. Oh my god.
College basketball trade deadline incoming. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
By the way, this Coleman thing, I think we've had enough of this. You know.
Sure.
I might not follow him on Twitter.
You know why we've had enough? Because we got Carey Booth coming.
Who?
Carey Booth. I mean, sorry.
Jesus, that's a terrible sign for that.
I'm just going to call him Coleman Hawkins 2.0 forever, so it doesn't really matter what his name is.
I don't think he's a troll on Twitter, which I don't really think we need.
I'm guessing that his NBA exec dad or whatever he does probably doesn't allow that. So,
well, you can do whatever you want these days. But no, I mean this is a stretch 4 with a lot of skill. I think he's probably more talented than Coleman, if we're going to be honest. I think a lot of things would say that as well. There's a natural look to the way he does things on the basketball court. I don't know what other schools were interested. I think Colorado State he visited. I'm seeing thumbnails on YouTube: Michigan, Texas, Dayton, Ohio State, as well as Illinois. Kind of felt like this was going to happen. We got a hint of that in the last episode.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good fit as long as they can continue to develop him. He's obviously young, only played 1 year at Notre Dame. He was originally committed to Penn State to play for Shrewsbury, then went to Notre Dame with him. Smooth player, like shoots it, has a really good looking shot. So I think if they can develop some of that stuff, I think he's probably a future NBA guy. I think rim protection, I think he's capable in that area. But it's going to take some time, another year, maybe 2. Who knows?
You don't have him start next year.
It'll depend on the roster. It'll depend on him and
Sure.
Merez coming in, He made 19 starts at Notre Dame, and Notre Dame was not good. So,
yeah. He played 33 games, averaged about 20 minutes a game, shot 30% from 3, 4 rebounds, half assist, half block. So, definitely a guy that has a high ceiling. So, I don't know if he'll play immediately, but I think that we'll definitely see him play. But I don't know about starting. Also, Store to Kansas for like $2.7 million, and Maddox, who we've been talking about, is going to Xavier. So
I don't think anybody should be surprised about with where those two are trending in the last few weeks that Illinois didn't get either, and I think it's fine. I don't know how many times we have to go through a portal season where the thought out
get
there
upset
is
when we lose somebody.
It's early.
Yeah.
So early. And
it's super early.
Did this team really need Store? They've already added multiple wings.
Yeah.
And we don't really need a guy who's there to be a number 1 option.
Yeah. They at this point they kind of need a main scoring option.
I did want Store for like a week, but
yeah.
I let go of that. I didn't want him, then I wanted him, then I didn't want him. Fine not having him. Go ahead and go to Kansas. We'll see what happens. And Maddox, I think everybody was way too in on that one. Like that, guys. He's a 6'2" guard from Toledo. Fine offensive player, but I don't know what the fit would have been next to Boswell there. Plus, I really don't like the idea of having 2 small guards. Like 2 guys that are 6'2" or under at the 1 and 2. I don't think that's the best formula to win. And I think that's probably why we're turning towards another year where Illinois is going to play a 5-out style offense, which I'm fine with. I know some who think that Dane Danger is the best player of all time or not. And he'll comment crying about how I took shots at him in the comments, but feel free, go ahead. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I mean, that was a good formula last year. I don't think the fact they were a 5-out team contributed that much to losing to UConn, just because UConn was way better. And even if Illinois did have a real center in there like Dane, do you think Illinois loses by less than 25 if Dane Danger plays 30 minutes against UConn? Maybe.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe lose by 20.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. John L. Davis, didn't get into Michigan. Shocker. Michigan apparently doesn't like people coming in. This is the 3rd year in a row that something like this has happened. Terrence Shannon, Caleb Love last year, and then John L. Davis this year. So,
I mean,
John L's
Dusty May's done a good job.
Yeah, he's getting guys. Yep.
Also, these NIL
higher than Stores.
I'm so tired of talking about these NIL reports. I don't give a fuck about any of that. So Chizang, relax. Why do we like care about these things? I don't know. Is it just like I think the players should be paid. I understand that. I understand the whole system's obviously screwed because the NCAA sucks, and they didn't do anything to regulate any of this, which is absolutely par for the course for those losers, the NCAA, who suck. I don't know how many times I'd say that, but it's so like, oh, this player asked for $1 million. Like, okay, first of all, I don't understand how you source these reports. Like, who's getting that info? Is it coming from agents? Is it coming from universities? Like, I don't know if that's something we need to discuss. I don't find it interesting at all. I understand that. What I find interesting is the amount of NIL money that programs are working with and how they use it. But I don't give a shit that John L. Davis, who, by the way, that FAU team stunk last year. That team sucked. And he's asking for more. If he's asking for more than Store, great. Good for him. Does he think he's going to get it? Because he's not. And I guarantee you Indiana did not give Ballo that much money straight up. Like up front, Probably not. I doubt it. But yeah, I don't know how much money. Oh, how much money did Illinois give Kylan Boswell? What do you guys think? Let's talk about this all day.
I'm good. Doesn't matter to
God.
me. Chester's trolling on Twitter apparently
Great.
for
Good for
stealing
Chester. Yeah,
for taking
great.
Illinois players from his alma mater. Good work. Good work.
I mean, Chester Frazier, I think, as I've said the entire time, I don't think Brad's losing sleep over losing Chester Frazier.
No,
And it's not a knock on him. It's just like Antigua, much more value, I think. He'd bring much more value to the program than Frazier, which is why I think, by the way, speaking of reporting, the Arkansas thing, like, are those guys not going to Arkansas? Are they going to Arkansas? I mean, they already brought in Kenny Payne. So maybe that report was fake. We need to, as a society, we really need to think about who's reporting things, because there's a lot out there that is BS.
Societal awareness on the Illini Basketball Podcast.
This should have been a thing for years, and we're not doing it. Like, we're just saying, oh, Arkansas's Calipari's taking all of his assistants with him. Probably not true. AJ Storr asked for $10 billion from Kansas, goes to Kansas anyway. That report probably wasn't true.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's annoying. It's college basketball more than ever this year is pissing me off in the offseason, because I think all this NIL reporting is so annoying. It's a complete turnoff for outsiders who don't give a shit about this. And I understand, coaches, we see how much coaches get paid and all that. Yeah, great. What do you want me to do?
Are we getting John L. Davis? I don't think so.
God, I hope not. That's another small guard that I don't need. The entire FAU team was undersized.
Chizeng says, I do find it interesting. Coleman would be paid separate than the NIL pool. Is that a thing? I don't even know how this stuff works. So, when is it going to be official that Antigua is coming back? Apparently today or Tuesday, according to everybody on Twitter and the internet. So I don't know, guys. I have no inside information for you. So,
well, that's got to be the number one option right now, right?
I mean, apparently it's a done deal. People were talking today about papers are being signed. So,
yeah, I think one of the best things we can say about what Brad Underwood has done here is, evolution and the idea that as the sport moves in a direction that we probably all don't love, Brad has been adapting to that this entire time. And the roster turnover, like, if you look at the last two coaches that were here, I think Brad probably runs circles around those guys in terms of roster management and bringing in talent, right? Like, I don't think there's any arguing that. Weber, brought in some fine players. It just wasn't a very high level. And Gross was what his name is pronounced like. He was gross. He sucked. I mean, what do you want us to do about that? Get a better athletic director, which we did. And now we have a better basketball coach. And really talking in circles here as the comments are loading up. Who's this? Any other star? If you're looking for stars, you're in the wrong place. Illinois is not looking for star. I mean, the Flan thing is interesting. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what was this up here? Never once thought. I never said you did. I was just asking the question. Dane guarding Klingon would have been a better choice than Coleman. Klingon didn't even kill them offensively, though. Did he? I don't know. I prefer to block that game out of my memory.
23 points or something.
Really?
I think so. I don't know. That was a complete guess.
That feels high. But I'll guess. I'll say this. I guess our 5-out offense is going to play defense in the paint. Still no big body players committed.
Klingon.
It's April
22 points.
Really? Oh, man. All right.
That's really, really close.
I mean, everybody had trouble with him. Everybody that didn't have a 7-footer. But, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. You could say that about Dane, but Dane's still, Dane is shorter than Coleman. He's got long-ass arms, though. Here's the thing about not having any quote-unquote big body players committed is that it's April 21st, and I think they're probably going to get a guy that can play the 4 or the 5 and is a bigger body than Booth or Merez. I think that's probably going to happen. I'd be kind of surprised if it didn't. What are the reliable sources are? That's the exact thing that I would make a point about here. Is there really a reliable source in the way of saying that Antigua is coming back? No, there is not that I've seen. So I'm not going to say that he is because that would contradict my entire point today. Are there any players from Kentucky or anywhere else that Antigua could bring with him? Well, considering Kentucky has like 0 players in their roster and Arkansas has 1 player, I would say it would have to be a commit.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about. Nice try.
You guys aren't letting us talk about anything.
Do you know what teams – he wants to know if you know what teams that played in the 99 state championships in basketball.
Rock Falls, Gibault Catholic High Schools, St. Joseph's, and Warren Township. No idea. The year after was Pleasant Plains and T-Town, though.
It's amazing. Is there any 5-star in the portal or maybe freshman? Aiden, here's the thing, guy. Here's the thing. You ready? You ready for this? If your one interest in adding players is getting quote unquote stars, quote stars unquote. If you're that interested in getting stars, like I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that that's the way that they should approach things. There's no way they're getting the guy from Dayton. We'll get there. Yep. The 4 and big from Kentucky is if you're talking about Ivisic or whatever, Ivisic, whatever the F that guy's name's pronounced, he's going to Arkansas. Rutgers big man, nope. Not linked to Big Ten teams. Dane's had the body to push back and force guys with him. I don't know if he's going to force a 7-3 guy. That's the thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'd have to see it play out.
It was in Peoria for the 99 state championships. My high school alma mater played it in the year after that, 2000, 2001. By
Rutgers,
the way,
big man going to St. John's. I had that first. That's a reliable source. Michigan got 2 7-footers. Good for them. Good thing one of them is complete trash.
What guys are we linked to? Hey, let's talk about that. Here we go.
There we go.
Great lead in. All right. Who else is Illinois looking at right now? Again, there's a lot of time. I honestly don't think you want to fill up your roster when we have also 6 more months of this.
So. Wesley Cardette Jr. Fryer.
Yeah. I don't even think he visited Illinois. He was on campus. Like he was on campus in Providence this weekend. So, yeah, Cardette's definitely a Fryer. So, but Illinois is looking at Kaysen Pryor, who just went into the portal yesterday, I believe. He South Florida player, 6'10", 210 pounds, listed as a forward. Averaged 13 points per game last year, 7.9 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.2 steals. Shot it 35% from 3 and averaged about 3.5 a game. He started in JUCO. He played 2 years at Boise State, and then last year he's at Southern Florida. Seems like Illinois is pretty interested in him. Another long 4. I mean, there's no chance that Illinois is playing a big 5 next year, right? Have they even went after any?
What do you consider Middle Tennessee? JCJ. Big 4?
I guess. I mean, I guess he's going to play the 5 if he comes. But
by the way, Wesley Cardette, like what even happened there? He's a 4-star, went to Samford and then Chicago State.
I don't know, Illinois was interested in
something happened. Something happened. I can't remember. But I will say, what's with all these Chicago kids going to so many effing schools after high school? Like Storr, he's on his 3rd college, and Cardette's on his 3rd, and geez. Shannon committed to 3 schools.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
When does the portal close? What the heck?
Yeah, when does the portal close?
May 1st is the portal deadline to enter.
Boom.
We got plenty of time. Brea's parents are from the Dominican. Don't count us out completely. Okay. I think he's going to UConn, but okay. Yeah, Kobe Brea, Dayton, 6'6", 205, listed as a wing guard, whatever. 11 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, 1.2 assists per game. Shot at almost 40% from three and averaged 6.1 threes a game.
He shot at 49.8%.
49.8, sorry. My bad.
That's way better than 39.
Way better. That's almost as good as you shoot it.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, that's 49.8% on 201 attempts. So I saw somebody who was maybe on social media saying that we already have Goody. Why do we need this guy? This guy shot 50% in 201 attempts.
Yeah.
But we're not getting him, like I said. Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
Hinkle, you're an idiot. I mean, shut up. No. Hinkle, I mean, yeah, it feels like it might be too late for that, though. It's a fun idea, though. I would have loved to bring him in. This would have made it easier when Luke Goody goes to Indiana. Would Goody really turn his back on us and go to Indiana? Come on, that would suck.
That would suck.
Of course, the person who said that in the chat. I mean, what do they know? There's smoke on stuff all the time. Like, oh, we're gonna get Ray J. Dennis. Oh my God, so much smoke. How'd that work
out? Any chance we finish top 5 in the Big Ten this year? Yeah.
Why not?
Why not us? Sean says top 3.
Way to do that in April.
Goody will be the 6th man of this Illinois team.
No, of the Illinois team. So Northwestern, DePaul.
Of the Illinois teams.
UIC, SIUE, SIUC, NIU, EIU, WIU, all the Illinois teams. Haven't heard much on Payne. That was kind of early when he entered. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't even know who he's interested in right now.
Would you like more wings? Because we got him.
Yeah, Chris Parker from Alabama, 6'9", 195 pounds. Another wing. He was a former 4-star. I think he was ranked 99th out of high school. He redshirted last year. Still got 4 years of eligibility left.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally nothing on this guy. He didn't play last year. So,
yeah, no interest. Sorry.
Yeah. And then the last one I got is Boogie Fland. It's been talked about in the chat. Antigua, of course. He was committed to Kentucky. He has completely reopened his recruitment. Holy cow. I need to go back to sleep. And so people are saying that if Illinois gets Antigua, we're getting Boogie Fland too.
I have
the word on the streets.
I have several thoughts on this.
Okay.
So he's 6'2". He's a 5-star, number 2 combo guard in this class.
Yeah.
It would make me wonder about DGL because
it's true.
It's another combo guard, similar size, young, develop. Boogie Fland's not going to come to Illinois and not play.
Sit behind DGL.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd immediately start. It'd be him and Boswell starting guards.
That would not be good, but you never know. I don't know if I see it. I think it kind of would depend on, number one, does Brad want him? Number two, does Antigua want to pursue? Because there was no lead recruiter when he committed to Kentucky. I'm sure Antigua maybe had some.
There wasn't. I thought that Antigua
according to 247, yeah.
Okay.
The report on him, this is from Adam Finkelstein, one of the two.
Finkel?
07/07/2023, so July 7th last year. Fland is a skilled guard whose biggest asset is his ability to shoot the basketball. Like few other players in high school basketball, he has an ability to heat up and start making tough shots from long range. However, his willingness to settle for those tough shots can impact his efficiency. The 30% he shot from behind the three-point line in EYBL came in direct correlation to his shot selection, since he's undoubtedly a better shooter than those numbers indicate. He's young for his grade. He remains undersized, slider, natural build, but deceptively long arms, lack of strength, and sometimes limited his ability to play through contact in the lane, but he has good range on his floater and is adept at getting to the free throw line. I know Indiana was heavily involved here. Michigan, Alabama, North Carolina all went after him as well. So I'm sure all those teams will be back in touch. You know, UConn's another one to watch here. Illinois offered him out of high school. Other Big Ten teams such as this is normal to say Oregon, Maryland, Michigan and Indiana as well. So we'll see. I mean, he visited North Carolina, Michigan, September, Kentucky in September, Indiana, and then Alabama last year. So yeah, I think it'd be an interesting addition if it were to progress in that way. Good player though. Good talent.
Yeah. Yeah. He played in the McDonald's All-American game. You could have watched him play in that. Played pretty well.
Hinkle redeeming himself here. Good point. I mean, this portal world is like the worst thing to happen to Illinois fans because it's showing how crazy our people can be.
Always have been. Looks like it's going to be a rebuild, not a reload. Top talent going off the boards, and we haven't had a single top 25 transfer with huge holes to fill.
Hard to find something more false than that, to be honest. I think people should trust Brad. Trust Brad to coach the talent that he's brought in. I don't think this is a team that's going to be. There's still a lot of time, as well. You got to think about that. But right now, I think this team is trending in a direction where they bring in a couple guys to fill some spots, and then figure it out from there. You got several guys who didn't play a ton of minutes last year, but are returning. I don't know about several, but multiple. Like Moretti saw some time. DGL saw some time. Ty, Goody.
4 guys. We got 4 guys coming back.
Ty, Goody, DGL, Moretti. Yeah. Max Williams.
Yeah. So. Who was Antigua the lead recruiter on? You have that available, Ethan?
Like I did this in the last episode, but yeah.
Cheesang says freaking out is just a sign of how good the program is right now. There are expectations, and Illinois fans are crazy. Is Hawkins and Damask coming back? Damask is coming back if his lawyer can get him a waiver. Hawkins, I don't think he's coming back. I think he just likes being a troll, but who knows? I mean, Hawkins could come back. I mean, I don't think anybody knows the answer to that question. So we have Fears coming in next year too. Fears is going to be the year after. He's not reclassing, guys. Stop asking for that.
This information is not going to help anybody, but Antigua was the lead recruiter at Kentucky on Reed Shepard, who's going to the draft. Aaron Bradshaw, who went to Ohio State. Ugana Onyenso, who I think might be in the portal. And Adu Thoreau, who I think might be in the portal as well. But other than that, he didn't do shit this year. Last few years.
Antigua ain't coming back. He's staying in Kentucky. If all the rumors are true, he's still working at Kentucky. It says flat.
This is why we don't do episodes this frequently in the offseason, because of all the fucking rumors. Like, it just, I don't want to deal with that shit, because you know what? As I've always said, and as we've always said, we're not here to spread rumors and get views, okay? It's not why we're here. There's other people in the Illini space, pretty easy to figure out who they are, who are there to do that. And that's not what we do. So we'll probably see you guys in like 4 months after this. But other than that,
we're reactatory guys, not spread rumors guys. Brad's tweaks this year are to not go all in on 1 year eligibility, guys. He's adapting. That's what you got to do. Why is Moretti coming back? I don't know. Why not?
Great question.
Is it likely Damask gets a waiver? I would say
it's unlikely.
I would say it's very unlikely. I'd say give it a 5% chance he's playing.
No, I think it's
next year.
I think it's 1% without the lawyers and like 15% with the lawyers.
Yeah. But then again, I didn't think that we'd see Terrence Shannon play again after all his stuff. So also big ruling in the courts that schools cannot suspend people over sexual assault cases now. Like you can't even suspend them like they did with Terrence Shannon for 6 games. How much playing time does DGL get? I could see Coltman coming back for NIL. Apparently he's not even going to get paid through NIL, according to who said that? Cheesang? I mean, he's coming in 2025. I know he's not changing classes. I'm talking about Fierce. Yeah. Fierce dropped 50 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds or something crazy in his AAU game the other night. So Yeah,
Playing against a bunch of blind kids.
I don't know, maybe,
Yeah.
but that's what we got.
I mean,
You guys can, if you guys got any other questions, feel free to ask.
this team's going to win 25 games. Lock it in.
Lock it in.
Regular season 25-5.
Really?
How are we at a point where people are freaking out in April like they don't trust Brad? Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't care what
agree.
any of these people think about Brad as a coach. Like, he should have earned our trust by now, you know? Especially with how much, like, this is the third or fourth offseason of a lot of player movement. We should learn by now that April 21st is, early in this process. Jeremiah Williams, when was that?
Yeah. The ice is still well maintained. It's not thin at all.
I would expect this commenter to say that Indiana looks really good because he's all concerned about stars. I don't think the Indiana pieces are going to fit in the puzzle as of right now. I don't think that's great. Like, you have Balo, who's a good player, but there's limitations underneath. Like, I don't think him and Renault next to each other makes a lot of sense. That just takes away 2 spots for shooters. Miles Rice, give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he went through cancer for 2 years and then played last year and shot like 28% from 3. Give him the benefit of the doubt that he can figure out his shot this year. And then you have Carlisle, who's a good player, but we'll see how that translates to a different league. And then I think Galloway's back as well, and Mbako as well. But like, it doesn't seem like a team that fits to me. I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong. I also think the coaching is an issue. This is a good point.
Yeah, he doesn't have a problem landing guys. His coaching seems to be the problem right now.
Well, you gotta land the right guys. That's
right.
why it's the decisions there are interesting.
Yep. I saw Esijan is going to Nebraska. See that?
That's your Tominaga replacement, the defense small guard 3-point shooter, except Tominaga probably better at it.
Drew wants your opinion on Trey White. Ethan hates him.
Trey White is great,
I think that he has the skill set to be good. I don't think that he's there now.
Does he though?
I think he has the athleticism to do things.
I worry about the shot. And I worry about
if you can get to the basket, you don't have to worry about the shot.
I need to see the defense more.
Most heated fan base rivalry is Illinois versus Illinois.
But you know what? You can say this about this IU team isn't going to fit well or isn't going to fit and gel. You could say that, but it's early. You never know. And this comment here, come on. I think Brad got a little lucky with Damas. Nobody thought he was going to be that good, but fine, fair, fine. But if you watched us and you watched some of the tape breakdowns of Damas and SIU, there were clear elements that this type of we knew there was a chance this could work. Maybe not at the level that it did, but it's not like Brad brought in Damas not thinking that they could get something out of him. So I think he deserves credit there, and I think you're right about the luck element, but there's also a credit element too to what Damas did at Illinois in one season, likely just one. I wouldn't expect him to get a second. You never know. I mean, this guy just throwing stuff. I don't know. No idea.
No chance. There's no chance.
If Trey White is the steal of the portal, I quit.
Really?
Brad didn't get lucky. Brad made it work with Damas. That's called good. Well, if the Jay Wright thing is true, I think it's a little credit to him as well. Move the goalposts. Yeah. Brad we trust. That's a good make the dollar bills.
Dollar bills.
Yeah. How would you rank the 4 editions so far in terms of best in 2024, 25? So the best this season.
Who all do we have? Kylan Boswell.
Boswell, Booth, Davis, White. I mean, what do you not follow the team?
Dude, it's been a long portal season already. Give me Boswell. Who's the other guy? Davis?
Mercer, white kid.
Oh, he's last. Give me Boswell, Trey White, Corey Booth.
I'm not doing this if you're going to keep doing that.
And the white guy.
It makes him a worse player. I'll go Boswell, Carey Booth, White, Davis this year for this season. Because I think Davis a couple years from now, who knows?
What, was that two different people? Or White Davis or
Brad Davison, Wisconsin? As of right now, who's our go-to? If you think DGL is the go-to scorer, we're in more trouble than I thought.
we are in a lot of trouble.
I think right now the go-to scorer is
Damask Lawyers.
Yeah. Boswell. I mean, Boswell averaged 9 per game. Booth averaged 6 per game. Like, these guys got to take a leap.
Yeah.
I think Trey White has the best numbers from
Work
last
to be
season.
done.
Everybody, right?
I see everybody forgets about Jake Davis. I'm not the
me.
only one.
I did a lot of studying on that one.
Is Illinois a top 15 AP poll team next year? We have no clue. We still got 4 spots.
Maybe.
To go.
I'll be nice to the commenters, unlike you, maybe.
Hold on. You're nice. Holy
cow. Scorers, Coleman kicking. You know what? Do you want Coleman to come back?
No.
Hater. I've always said I wanted him back. Always.
I've had my Coleman experience, so if he does, great. But I'm kind of I could care less.
That's what I think too. Yeah. It's it's probably enough by now. But if he wants to, sure. I mean, we'd take him.
Jake White, Corey Boswell, Trey Booth, and Kylan Davis. Sounds like a starting 5 to me.
Yeah.
Put in Trollman Hawkins, and we're good to go.
What do you think about this? Why didn't you write down the Xavier guard? Desmond Claude.
I didn't hear about him.
Thought there was buzz there, possibly about Illinois jumping in the mix.
Desmond Claude, the 6'6" guy that looks like Trey White. You want another one?
Yeah, but he also averaged 16 points per game last year.
Trey White averaged 13.
Yeah, but what's his name? Claude played for an actual coach.
He shot 23.9%.
That's a concern. That's a concern. Yeah,
we don't want him.
Good free throw shooter.
Apparently, yeah. I didn't know. Did Illinois actually reach out to this guy? Or
I don't know if they did, or I just thought people were saying like Illinois will be in the mix.
I mean, the reason this kid went in the transfer portal is because they got Maddox. So we didn't get Maddox. We want the guy that left the school that he went to. That makes 0 sense to me.
Well, he's bigger and more tools and averaged 16 at a power conference school. I mean, Maddox played in the MAC against coaches like John Gross.
Eric doesn't want Damask back either. That could be a problem.
You could care less or couldn't care less, because the phrase is couldn't care less, right? I hate when people do that. Seriously, no offense to anybody, but I hate when people do that. It's couldn't care less, because if you could care less means you could literally care less. I hate it. I hate it.
Would Coleman make more NIL than his rookie contract? He would definitely make more money at Illinois, because he's going to be playing in the G League. I don't think Coleman gets drafted. But I could be.
I think once again, we're going
to a very weak draft class.
It's a very weak draft, and the draft process. Don't you think Coleman's the type of guy where like, oh my god, he's 6'10", he has all these tools?
That's true. That's true.
Where I think he could be like a 50th to 60th. Pick.
Wesley Cardette Jr. is announcing that he's a Friar today.
Dirty over. Happened right when we went on.
He already announced that he's a Friar today. Did the Michigan guard commit anywhere yet? Doug?
One? I don't think he's talking about Doug. Maybe he is, though, actually, because that happened so long ago. What I think Michigan is doing right now with Dusty May is assembling like an actual team.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be interesting to see. Like they're not going to be quite as talented as they were, in a couple of years under Juwan. They're not going to have that same level of NBA guy, but they're going to have a good, solid college team and a team that can compete in the Big Ten, probably make the tournament. and you're going to be coached by a guy who, say what you will, they weren't very good this year at FAU. It was disappointing, but got to the Final Four year before. So there's something to be said about that. I want to talk about a few Big Ten teams real quick.
Doug went to K-State.
Yeah, where he doesn't have to do school.
Where's Vlad going?
Probably Michigan. Probably Michigan.
And
by the way, Seth Davis is such a fucking idiot. Can I just say that?
Okay.
Like when Danny Wolf committed to Michigan, Seth Davis was like, "Oh, Dusty May got his Vlad Golden at Michigan." Like, dude, do you even watch basketball? Danny Wolf is a completely different player.
Not even the same. Yeah.
Completely different. Like he's a distributor.
He can
step out and shoot it. Just because they're the same, it's so dumb. It's so lazy. Like, why even tweet that? You just look stupid. And Seth Davis is the king of looking stupid.
Yeah, this has been my only thing with Antigua. Antigua recruited Kofi. I think he can give us some big name guys. My thing is, like, does Antigua want to come to a school that plays the 5 out when he's helps the big men usually?
I don't think that matters to him.
I don't think Seth pick all 1 seeds to get to the Final Four this year.
He does that every year. He's a 0.
Oklahoma's center available. Who's that?
Who?
I don't have any idea. I didn't write it. Anyways, what are you doing? You're doing something?
I was looking at some Big Ten stuff.
Fell for stupid tweet bait. I'm sorry. It's all right. We all do it.
So the Big Ten.
Yeah, Connor Season in Nebraska. Yeah.
Recent Big Ten additions. I think Ohio State's been doing some good work. They brought in Aaron Bradshaw from Kentucky, who I think has a lot of tools, but I wonder about how that'll eventually work out. They obviously got Michi Johnson back. He was there for a year or two and then went to South Carolina, developed a little bit more. Now he's going back to Ohio State. They got Micah Parrish, solid transfer from San Diego State, class of 20, I believe, from Detroit. So you got that. Obviously, Nebraska getting a Season from the Wisconsin Badgers. You have Indiana, who, I mean, in terms of collecting talent, Indiana's been right up there in the Big Ten this year. They got, obviously, a 5-star freshman coming in. Some say 4, some say 5. Bryson Tucker, 6'7" wing. They got Cannon Carlisle from Stanford. I think might be their best addition to me. But they went with the smaller guard thing, 6'2", 6'2". Miles Rice, also 6'2" from Washington State, and Omar Ballo, the big man, who I think might be overrated by some, but obviously a big body with a lot of experience. And interesting to me is that Indiana's, all 3 of their portal additions have been from other high major schools. And a lot of Big Ten teams have done that. Season from Wisconsin, and then Bradshaw from Kentucky for Ohio State. Illinois has done that this year twice, I guess, 2 or 3. I guess 3 out of the 4 have been that.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep an eye on. And then Michigan, obviously bringing in some of the FAU guys. They got a couple of commits as well. 4-star guard Justin Pippen, son of Scottie Pippen, going to Michigan this year, and then Darrell Brooks, 3-star guard as well. They got Trey Donaldson from Auburn. Some say a 4-star transfer. That's what the people are saying. Reuben Jones, who is I think a defensive stopper from North Texas, and obviously Danny Wolf from Yale, and I expect probably Vlad Golden as well, unless Dusty backs off and is like, you know what, we don't need this guy. What do we need this guy for? He stinks. So, and obviously Rutgers. Really like what Rutgers has done in the portal, even though they've only made 2 additions. I think they're smart. At least one of them, I think, getting Jordan Durkak from Merrimack in the portal. Guy's going to be able to get some shots up, open up the offense a little bit for an offense that I think will be tested by the fact that they were so bad offensively last year. They got to turn around and figure it out when they have 2 5-stars and a 3-star who dominated Morez Johnson coming in, Lathan Somerville. So it's true. I mean, look it up.
1 game.
Tournaments. It's a tournament game. It's playoffs. Talking about playoffs.
Have they announced any tournament we're playing in this year yet? I don't think that there's been a early season tournament announced yet for Illinois.
Yeah, there has. Oh, not for
Well,
Illinois.
one. Yeah,
Not for Illinois.
not for Illinois. Yeah.
We're going to Maui.
Maui. I think Maui's set.
I think it is too.
So definitely not going to Maui. Hey, how about this 15-year-old on the Corn Ferry Tour, though?
Crazy. Yeah, too bad he's a lefty. Crazy. Auburn, Colorado, Dayton, Iowa State, Memphis, Michigan State, North Carolina, and UConn. So when you're sitting there at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday night, you can enjoy Dane Danger live from Maui.
There you go, Jeffrey.
UConn's definitely going to run the field there, right?
Yeah. Any foreign centers under the radar? I don't know. Orlando finalizing a deal right now. Says who?
Maybe go back to Maui next year. And you know what? I'll say this. If Illinois goes to Maui in the next 5 years, we're going.
We definitely need a Europe trip
Lock
first
it
to
in.
see how bad we're at shooting.
Are you in on that? If they go to Maui in the next 5 years, we're going.
Oh, man. We're going to have to get some bigger sponsors.
Fine. That's fine. Easy. We'll make it happen easily. Even though if I were to go to Hawaii, I wouldn't really want to go to Maui. But if it's for this, yeah. I would give you a hard no on this one, Gary. If Illinois is interested in Shutt from Duke, hard no. I don't think that's happening. Be watching, hoping Dane tears it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to root against Dane. I mean, he's playing for a pretty poor coach, but other than that, he's not playing for a good coach anymore, which he was, The battle for Atlantis, I think, has a good field this year. I can't remember if it's finalized or not. I think it is, yeah. Illinois is not in that.
There's
Battle
only
for
4
Atlantis.
teams in that, right?
No, it's more than that. They got Arizona, Creighton, Gonzaga, Indiana, Louisville, Oklahoma, West Virginia, and Davidson. So when you're sitting there on a Tuesday night, Battle for Atlantis, during the Thanksgiving holiday, you can see Sincere Harris and Amani Hansberry at West Virginia.
Is Illinois interested in
I already
Shutt
did
from
this.
Duke? Oh, sorry.
I said no.
I wasn't listening. You just keep rambling, and
I know.
over here
I'm ready to go.
Googling stuff. So, how many roster spots do we have left? 3, I believe, right now.
4.
4, I believe, right now.
I actually don't know. It's got to be 3 or 4 though. Yeah.
It's
Well-
3 or 4, I believe, right now.
Okay, who's taking up a roster spot? Moretti, DGL, Boswell, Booth, White, Davis, Johnson, Goody, Rogers, Jack Stiles, I guess, technically still until he redshirts. That's 10. Who do we
And
miss?
you have 4.
We might have missed one. Oh, Kreider just scored 4-1.
We definitely missed one.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think there's 3 spots, but I could be wrong. Somebody tell us.
We keep
Anyways,
losing spots.
hit the like button.
I want to hear where this guy got this from. This Antigua thing.
I don't know. Aiden's just kind of throwing stuff out there. Feels like.
Good enough, fine by me.
Seeing if something sticks. All right. As always, we want to thank Alamo Steakhouse and Saloon at 700 East Broadway Avenue in Mattoon, Illinois. You can find them online at www.alamo-steakhouse.com. Sunday tonight, 8-ounce prime rib and a glass of wine for $26. They are closed Monday. Don't try to go there Monday. Tuesday, they got the chicken parmigiana. If you guys would like to be a sponsor for our episodes or our watch parties, please reach out to us on Twitter, or you can email at us at Illini Basketball Podcast at gmail.com. As always, don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, the share, get us out there to everybody. We appreciate you guys. As always, Aiden says it's all over Twitter. Don't believe everything you read on Twitter. How's that sound?
It's all over Twitter from all these absolute morons who nobody knows the name of.
It's like they were copy pasta and stuff or something. So my dog's barking at me.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah. He thinks that we're ending now, but I refuse.
Everybody say a prayer for Ethan. He's going into surgery and we won't be back for a month.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything confirmed. Okay, here's what I'll say. I'm not going to be a guy who does that when it comes to like reporting things, quote unquote. But I will say that at Chief Illini Weck,
Mhm.
which is an official Twitter account for the historical representation of the Chief, said, "Oh, what do you think, Illini Nation?" at 4:33 p.m. So that's all I see on Twitter. So I don't know. I wish
If
everybody
it
will.
happens
This is
before Wednesday, we'll be back.
yeah, this is probably gonna break like right when we get off. So if it doesn't, then we're getting what's his face from Xavier. So enjoy that.
We'll come right back on if it breaks when we get off, guys.
Definitely, that'll definitely happen. All right, we'll see everybody on the other side. In like June probably.
Yeah,
Maybe late May, but
it's been real.
hopefully Illinois can continue to add, and maybe we'll get a replacement for the unreplaceable Dane Danger. All right, see ya.